fuck is that sound? What the fuck is that sound? Brought the Mac out, nigga sat down. I got shit I never had now. I can brag now. Got my bitch a Louis bag now. She can brag now. But my bitch a Birkin bag now. She a brag now. Now I'm sitting in a club in a different bag now. Baby, when I pick it up, you gon' put that ass down. Tell him you don't give a fuck, baby, spin that ass round. Tell her DJ turn it up. What the fuck is that sound? Ayy, boogie with the hoodie and it's always foreign. Yeah, I know she like my style, of mother niggas boring. When I pull up, big ol' skirt, that's a foreign. When I pull up on a red light, they don't want it. Yeah, I came up from the mud and my baby know that. Introduced her to my plug, now she thinks she all that. When I first hit her up, no, she never rolled back. Then I saw her at the club, so I got up on that. Now every time they play this song, she say this is my shit, my shit. See the flip on my wrist, and I know she know what's up, baby, this is my shit, my shit. See the flick of my wrist, they know that's my bitch, that's a fact. And she stalk with me when you in my section. Fill it up when my club empty, I can't fuck with rats. That's a fact, that's a dog, nigga, all about my F. Can't put water over blood, nigga, trust me, it get ugly. If I wasn't getting money, would you still want me? If I told you I was broke, would you start acting funny? This is all I ever wanted, you can't take it from me. Now every time they play this song, she say this is my shit, my shit. See the flick on my wrist, and I know she know what's up, baby, this is my shit, my shit. See the flick of my wrist,
Used to think about pleasing a chump, now it's money on my mind. I say I'm fat by time, they do anything to shine. Now this ain't nothing new, tell me plus out SB know it's grind. Now everybody say they family, cause they see I'm doing fine. Get in the booth and talk to them, like I was a preacher, nigga. That's my life, can't even shop without the mask and take a picture. She sit back and observe, so she know who really with her. In foreign cars, you think I'm young and wild, hanging out the window. I pop out fresh, you know I rock the denim and I rock the road. Living like a rock star, way before I'm having blues. Got that money coming in, but when they do it, coming too. If out of state, I stay in tellies, only with the best views. I'm a real problem, you got one, think I'm solving. Like a maniac, folks will get mad and I can't stop. Got a short temper, get too close and jokes and I might chop. Would be a cold mother lover, but she hotter than a lava. And I wanna say that I'm happy to be alive. Even though I have my days, I survive with these lying eyes. Used to think about pleasing a chump, now it's money on my mind. I say I'm fat by time, they do anything to shine. Now this ain't nothing new, tell me plus out SB know it's grind. Now everybody say they family, cause they see I'm doing fine. Get in the booth and talk to them, like I was a preacher, nigga. That's my life, can't even shop without the mask and take a picture. She sit back and observe, so she know who really with her. In foreign cars, you think I'm young and wild, hanging out the window. More money, more problems, they hate because I'm turned. I get out when I can, sometimes all I do is work. Gotta get this money, then I take a trip to Turks. And I can't let nobody play with me, sometimes could be a jerk. And I wanna say that I'm happy to be alive. Even though I have my days, I survive with these lying eyes. Used to think about please, that's money on my mind. I say I'm fat by time, they do anything to shine. Now this ain't nothing new, tell me plus out SB know it's grind. Everybody say they family, cause they see I'm doing fine. Get it, like I was a
Redefined.
Foreign cars, you think I'm young and wild, hanging out the window.
Kill. Triple kill.
bandage.
Double kill.
Enemy spotted.
Enemy hit. Unstoppable. Wicked sick. Satellite scan in progress. Wicked sick. Double kill. Wicked sick. Taking fire. Wicked sick. The safe zone has been redefined. Wicked sick. Taking fire. Wicked sick. Double kill. Satellite scan in progress. Got it. Wicked sick. Wicked sick. Wicked sick. The safe zone is
Enemy hit.
enemy spotted.
Reloading.
Wicked double
Sick.
kill.
Using
Wicked
bandage.
sick.
Close your computer. I get to refreshment. Transporters. Where stress melts away as ocean waves. So unwind, crack one open, and taste the allure.
Take a hit. Wicked sick. Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted. Wicked sick. Double kill. Wicked sick.
I'm in trouble.
Download the Rift app to get started.
Using bandage.
1930.
Enemy spotted.
Summer for a
I'm down.
trip coming up. Vacation shop
Wicked sick.
has sweater polos.
Enemy spotted. Get lost or
Their
get
shorts
killed.
are no different and have the comfort of a for summer. Start planning your next trip with the AM vacation shop. Their newest arrivals in store or online.
Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted. Don't get no fuck. If 12 come, we take them on the chase. I ain't getting no fuck. Just a cold heart that ain't on my way. No clock on by. And they hopping out, nigga, that ain't no debate. And them shells gon' jump off the roof. I give them the green and lemon. Alright, I'm really got left out the group. But I see where with none of the safe zone has been redefined. Had to really take a stand with the troops. So bitches, niggas, we don't recruit. I seen this little dish that was cute. They shout out to Pop Smoke, but they don't really wanna fuck with no rules. We don't like when you talking to who. I got shit that don't even move. If this guy ain't calling the truth, why they mad I'm just talking the truth? Wait, slow it down. Okay. Don't get no fuck. If 12 coming, we gon' take them on the chase. I ain't getting no fuck. Just a cold heart and a bang on my waist. Them clocks gon' buy. And they hopping out, nigga, that ain't no debate. If you get on the neck, let's go. You can count on punch no mouth, bitch. Real killers don't kill on no come down. They ain't drop in the block, we real quick.
Get lost but get killed.
Squeezing on that 2+7. How long will shoot that happen? Man, I really done turned to a maniac. And that's all I'm somewhere where he at. If they owe me respect, gotta pay me that. So his mama gon' rock our baby back. And if follow him down, I'm okay with that. Cause the G.A.N.G. will play with that. 4 nickel, I package the drink with that. Walk up and they shoot it, it's brain flat. Wait, slow it down.
Reloading.
Okay. If 12 coming, we gon' take them on the chase. I ain't getting no fuck. Just a cold heart and a bang on my waist. Clock gon' buy. And they hopping out, nigga, that ain't no debate.
Got it.
The safe zone is shifting.
This that murder music. I let that chopper sing and they listen to it. My bitch, she like to get high, yo, we getting booted. I pop a Perkins, hit my junk, yeah, now hustle. I'm a superstar, yeah, I live my life like a movie.
Take it, enemy spotted. Double kill. Triple kill.
Using damage.
Yeah, we getting too much cash, little bitch.
Satellite scan in progress. Wicked sick! Taking hits! Wicked sick! Enemy spotted! Wicked sick! Enemy spotted! Enemy spotted!
The safe zone redefined.
Enemy spotted!
And I got a colorful aura, like I got neon guts. Yeah. And I got a colorful aura, like I got got neon guts. Admitted I move like a amoeba. Yeah. I float in the room like I'm reefer. Yeah. Alien, I'm not your kind of people. Yeah. Telepathic fan, watch how I reach. J-boy. You ain't got emeralds greener. Nah. You ain't got Richard the Sleevey. No, sir. And I got a rose that's in the grove that I ain't drove. Shit, I don't know the reason. 3 or 5. Underlay, revive. Me and J on G5. Success is a drug, him and we high. I am mother is a beehive. Yeah. I got love for you haters. Yeah. Ain't you tired of enslavement? Come with us, make some paper change. Cause you should own what you label. Yeah. You never stay in the border. I put Chanel on my shoulder. Flooding my chain and it cold. I don't want that girl, she moody. I'm basically saying I'm cooler. In New York, just counting my cougar. Back in the 6th grade, I got the bag. I was in love with my shooter. Your music is what she pregnant. Most of the rap, when I follow the rest. Stay at the risk, cause it's not a rap. Silver blue, I'm about to take the reveal. Purple thoughts in my brain, hope it don't spill. Stay with a nerd like I'm a chill. Friends like coffee, I can't will. Big ass R on my Smiths. Big ass R on my whips. Slip on shoes so you won't trip. Say she kinda fine and she got some hips. Mama said, let me see the witch. Boy, you know, light and dark don't mix. Mix it up, boy, bad luck. Sick to my stomach with them neon guts. Higher than Elon Musk. So high stars stardust. And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Dark energy we don't touch. Artillery's neon touch. And they give a nigga colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Higher than Elon Musk. So high stars see dark dust. And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Dark energy we don't touch. Artillery's neon touch. And I got a colorful aura. Yeah, fam, forever I'm on my fellow star. I'm like lightning striking in a metal rod. I say hello God in the double bar. So damn it, MX, I got a yellow card. I need a yellow card. I am from the metal star. I had to push like a star. After but ahead of y'all. New crib, got a better yard. Years, I got hella cars. The 8th grade. Bras. Yellow painting with a yellow bra. Shit came from Ross. Polly March. Slick my hair back like I'm Chico DeBarge. I got some lights on my chest. Don't confuse it with a heart. Heard that they looking too good. Had to pull some strings like I played a I get these billions alone. Internet watching the start. Smoking good kush rock a bone. Got neon guts cause I can't see in the dark. Higher than Elon Musk. So high stars eat on dust. And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Dark energy close up. Artillery neon touch. And they give a nigga colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Unstoppable. So high stars eat our dust. And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts. Dark energies we don't touch. Artillery we don't touch. And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts.
Wicked sick!
And I got a colorful aura.
Roger.
And I got a colorful aura. Like I got neon guts.
Enemy hit. Wicked sick! Got it. Wicked sick! Double kill. Wicked sick! Wicked sick! Wicked sick! Wicked sick!
nigga, I ain't getting up. Ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. Nah, I can even hear what you say. I ain't better do shit. Miss me with.
The safe zone
I ran in the gator, my shoes are deception. I shine like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Bands out the Gucci store, they stuff with ladies. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. When it's time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches.
Wicked sick. In the neighborhood about. Standing at the corner store with a pocket full of dough. I be damned if a nigga wipe a hood house. Learned that from you, came back pocket full of stone with your money down like a fucking hard fuck.
Wicked sick.
For your condo. But why flip shit? I'm doing it for black
Double
yellow,
kill.
green,
Wicked
auto.
sick.
Here, huncho, nigga, no tonto, nigga. I'm putting some freaks in the Bronco, nigga. Talk shit while I don't spawn it on, nigga. No murder, no combo. Don't be blowing me up, nigga. I ain't getting no.
Wicked sick.
Ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. Nah, I can't even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. Bitch, you miss me with. Bitch, nigga, miss me with.
I trapped in 11, the pack in 11. Ran in the gator, my shoes are deception.
I'm wounded.
I shine like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Bands out the Gucci store, they stuff with ladies. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. Hey, it's my time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches.
What you think we in the neighborhood about? Standing in the trash like good dog. Made baby, you slain that crack. Ride stole the car while he bang that. Took the law, better bring that back. Catch you with your bitch, he can blow your brain back there. Hey, no, you better be. Only if I hate when it's just me. Back on, we don't love me. You spit me on the catch felony. If you listen, I can get you paid. And I get the rest of the shit you say.
Wicked
If it ain't about the money, don't be blowing me up, nigga. I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. Nah, I can even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. If it ain't about the money, bitch, you can hear me.
The safe zone has been redefined.
I trapped in 11, the pack in 11. I ran in the gator, my shoes are deception. I shine like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Bands out the Gucci store, they stuff with ladies. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. Hey, when it's my time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches.
What you think we in the neighborhood about? Standing at the corner store with a pocket full of dough. I be damned if a nigga wipe a hood house. Learned that from UGK, back a pocket full of stone, nigga.
Wipe them out like soup.
Talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev.
We've been for 12 years. What we need is Spectrum Internet.
You get a leash, you get it Wi-Fi.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll still on that, but I won't go to bed.
Switch to Spectrum now.
The safe zone is shifting.
To chill. Chill. Where your friends get your favorite song players. End of friendship. Or just chill because that song is meant for you. And the sound of that nice
Reloading.
Abercrombie really knows how to do a lightweight outfit. Their tees, sweater polos, and linen blend shorts never miss. I wear Abercrombie. Their shorts are great. Prep for the next trip with the ANF vacation shop. Their newest arrivals
Reloading.
in store, online, and in the app.
Triple kill.
Figure out what we're gonna eat. Can't you just be happy to see another nigga fit it up? Looking dipped in butter and shining and glistening.
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
I like my cup real muddy. I like my bitch real slutty. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Making these racks real dummy. No, we can't be buddy buddy. Oh yeah. I'm with your bitch with your I'm with your bitch with your honey. I might put dick in a gutty. Oh yeah. I'm off the drugs, lil' baby. Her I can't give you no love, lil' baby. Oh yeah. They love me like salsa, baby. I flow with your bitch, give me nose, lil' baby. Oh yeah. I spend racks, they come right back. She blow my phone, she come right back. I love that hoe, but I'm so sad. I love that hoe, I'm so down bad. 100, I don't know man. 100 niggas on your way. 100 when I do the day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Enemies close by.
This bitch keep talking, she toxic.
That's why these bitches on me. I've been cool with that, taking the seat, but just know a nigga back in this time I won't leave. I've been running, gotta check me your bag. I got hundreds on my neck and I got shoes on my ass. Nigga said I'm going broke, well I just take it and laugh. I be speeding in that foreign with 5 on my ass, but I'm that nigga. I can never change. Got a Uzi in my life, I let it change. Relocate to those people take, buddy, and take care of others. I'm gonna let it blow and watch this shit. See this face, I'm that nigga. And all my young niggas with good trick. We let this bitch off into you feelings for you niggas. That's always on IG with them yiggies, taking pictures. This you really go use them or you just loafing for them bitches. You niggas really hoes and you be acting like these bitches. You niggas say I silent, bitch, I probably in there snitching. Most of the niggas that's around me throwing seeds like they crippin', but they do it for the twins. Free little Corey and Lil Chris. But I'm like doing my shooters and that bleeding to it. One up top like I'm Mozzie, bitch, I keep it 40. You say I'm lacking, you can try to shoot you in your shorty. I'm 40 Papa, hit them off to turn your brain to pasta. Hit them off with dread swinging just like I'm a
Double kill.
the nigga, I'm a papa. And we ain't throwing hands with you fuck niggas. It's one up top up in that chamber. Niggas dissing you that we
Close by.
then we lay 'em in that trunk. That's on my life. I will never fold a nigga speaking on the play with me. That nigga gotta go. I'm really small, but I can fight, but I'ma steal what they go. Where you niggas think I'm pussy, you gon' have to show me.
Close by.
Kill.
Unstoppable!
Close by. Under attack. Barrier up and running. Enemy spotted.
The safe zone is shifting.
Close by.
Wicked sick! The safe zone has been redefined.
Close by. Enemy spotted. Close by. Enemy struck. Enemy close by. Medic needed. Taking fire. Enemy close by.
Wicked sick!
Double kill.
Wicked sick!
Triple kill.
Under heavy fire.
The safe zone is shifting.
Enemies close by.
Redefined.
Barrier up and running.
Wicked sick!
Spy. Spy.
Sick!
Double kill.
Wicked
Triple
sick!
kill.
Wicked sick!
Sleep is nice in my bed. They only love you when you shining. I won't let it get to my head. Got a little one on the way now. I gotta do this shit for my kid. Having conversations with the sky, and I meant everything that I said. For my family, gotta build a legacy. I'ma be the man when I'm dead. Work too hard, I can't slip up, so I'm clutching tight on this lead. No, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. I'm too close to the edge. It is what it is. Ain't no looking back. Don't regret the things that I did. Ay. System got the hood fucked up. Killers, crack fiends, some Christians. Little nigga, all he know is bang. Only 16 on a mission. Ay. Drug money out there serving fiends. Only time he show his ambition. Kid on the way, mama bills late. Gotta hustle hard, gotta get it. Block was slow, so he had to rob just to make him smile on Christmas. Caught a case judge, ain't tryna hear all the things influence my decisions. Hate to follow rules, elementary school all started off with suspensions. If it weren't for rapping, what would I be? I just thank God that I'm gifted. Made it to the top and I stood up. First I had to crawl in them trenches. We got hating us, trying to make something. Running through the field, hopping fences. Gotta spin back with it. Block this hard, just a man down. Gang, I'm sick, it's nice in my bed. They only love you when you shining. I won't let it get to my head. Got a little one on the way now. I gotta do this shit for my kid. Having conversations with the sky, I said, for my family, gotta build a legacy. I'ma be the man when I'm dead. Work too hard, I can't sleep up. I'm clutching tight on this lead. No, I ain't me. I'm too close to the head. We some young niggas, we don't give a fuck. Nothing think it here right up. Bunch of hot shit.
The safe zone has been redefined.
I'm proud of the body stay cold. Went through a lot and I'm only 20. It's a lot of things that I saw. She left me cold on the inside, feeling like I need something though. Was just to feel a void or acceptance, looking at the things that I bought. I still get depressed in my bitch, ain't contemplate deep in my thoughts. I'm just glad that I'm still standing. There's a lot of demons out front. Voices in my head, calculating night rides, no blood. Really comes to when I was on that block like the streets, all that I got.
Reloading.
Blood, sweat, tears, what I shed. Sleep is nice in my bed. They only love you when you drown.
Double kill.
Heads up.
Enemy spotted.
I'm reloading.
Enemy spotted.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA summer sale.
Hi, yeah. My family and I want our backyard to be a summer oasis. Enemy spotted.
Don't sweat it. Our summer deal is
Enemy hit.
50% off on select items. Plus, your loyalty members can save an extra 10%.
Sign me up.
7 to 6:30. USA.com/summer sale for more details.
Mega kill!
25. US only while supplies last. Selection may vary. See store and IKEA-USA.com/summer sale for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Unstoppable!
I'm real.
Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted.
Wicked sick!
Double
sick.
kill.
Wicked
Triple
sick.
kill.
Wicked sick. Wicked sick.
Double kill.
Wicked sick.
Reloading.
Wicked sick.
Reloading.
Wicked sick. The safe zone has been redefined.
Reloading.
Enemy spotted!
Reloading.
Wicked sick.
things you used to say. My friends got killed on the same block where we used to play. I know that death come unexpected, you can't choose a day. I swear I popped so many pills, she got me losing weight. Life is so hard, she had me losing faith. I know my head is shaking on me, I've been doing great. I couldn't be wrapped up in that drama, had to move away. Everything you take, gotta live with each decision that you choose to make. I used to hustle to the top,
Good
I
run,
found a
team.
newer way. Remember how speeds in that hawk, I'm trying to lose the jakes. So much potential in the lives these niggas threw away. They dreaming of my freedom every night I used to pray. I got that check and stay loyal, make sure my shit is straight. Or he went unidentified, them hollows true his face. I've been scarred by your love, left my heart bleed. My soul posted in the shadows with some dark demons. On the E-way in a fast foreign car speed. Please, top of ringing. We ain't never ducking beef, bitch, we not vegan. All the niggas bout that action, they be Glock squeezing. Red beams on his head, now his top leaking. I heard that boy got man down and now the ops grieving. Lil' duck hop out in traffic, let them things bust. Let Joe be bugging, he'll make you get your chain up. This shit too deep, no, I can never get my gang up. Should've never be the same, them trenches changed us. My niggas gone, I miss them days when we came up. If I could be with you, got all the money and the fame up. That pain was so unbearable, I almost gave up. First we was broke, but now I'm swerving in that range truck. We was wildin' in them streets, of savage what they named us. When there's violence on our side of town, they blame us. Smith and Wesson torch a nigga, he get flamed up. Them 40 shells crack his head, fuck your brain up. I've been scarred by your love, left my heart bleeding. My soul posted in the shadows with some dark demons. I'm on the E-way in a fast foreign car speeding. 223 spit out quick when that chopper ringing. We ain't never ducking beef, bitch, we not vegan. My little niggas bout that action, they be Glock squeezing. Red beams on his head, now his top leaking. I heard that boy got man down and now the ops grieving.
I got niggas out here killing each other for feelings.
All of my chopper they talk, all of my chopper they talk. Check it out. 45 clip in the sauce. All of these niggas they soft. All of these niggas they soft. 45 and a little boy from the farm. 45 niggas with me. All of my niggas they boss. Sucking my dick soft. Sucking my dick. Sucking my dick. Whacking that beat. Had to go cop a AP. Had to go cop me some rock. Had to go cop me some link. I put a lean on the rock. Sucking my dick. She suck my dick with her jaw. Lean, ooh, lean, 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 lean. Run it up, run it up, run it up, big PE. I got a curl, MTV, y'all, come see. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Talk to him, God.
Spotted.
Pull up.
The safe zone has been redefined.
Pull up, pull up. Pull up, jello, my jello, sweater, change
fire. Down.
Twice that. Pathetic.
Double kill.
Enemy spotted.
Go tell my mama that I'm gonna be a star.
Enemy
Stand
spotted.
out 'cause they really hate on this. Send out the unreleased, is it a hit or a miss? My story and I make it headed down a long road. Tryna see who with
Enemy
me
spotted.
and who gon' go. I see who don't support and who don't show love, no. And can't no nigga play me, I know how the game go. They know the play,
safe
they
zone
been not come this route. I'm a superstar, but I still bring the switches out. Can't no fame change me, I'ma stay the same way. Wow, I hate the other way. Take that way,
Enemy
only
spotted.
then go. Things that you
Enemy
think
spotted.
gon' run to have, but I ain't gon' look. No, you wasn't really on none, so I wasn't shook.
Light 'em up.
I wasn't shook, I'm not a rug. They ain't play me out back, but I can't make a bad look.
I'm reloading.
At the real, guess I'm capping for the
Down.
The safe zone has been redefined.
That was some still won't be explained. Range because I'm working on my aim.
Wipe them out.
But he got my money longer. Went through and go through storms, now it's making me stronger. No matter what you do, say they still
The
try
safe
longer.
zone has been
I
redefined.
guess I'm not
The
a
safe
beat
zone has been
longer.
redefined.
Thinking about my life while I'm rolling in the car. Look up, tell my mama that I'm gonna be a star. Stand out 'cause they really hate on this. Stand out the unreleased, is it a hit or a miss? Slurry and I make it headed down a long road. Who with me and who gon' go? I see who don't support and who don't show love, no. And can't no nigga play me, I know how the game goes.
Light 'em up.
Enemy spotted. I'm down.
Light 'em up.
Think about the people who inspire you most. As
I'm
well,
reloading.
they don't have all the answers, but they do know how to ask us when they need it. Therapy is a great way to find that support. BetterHelp has a experienced therapist ready to help you with challenges ranging from clinical issues to
Section
stress
barrier up and
and
running.
And it's convenient too. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Tap now or visit BetterHelp.com/Spotify music today to get 10% off your first month.
The safe zone is shifting.
I'm reloading. I'm reloading. I'm reloading.
Wicked sick!
The safe zone has been redefined.
Wicked sick!
Down. Wipe them out.
Taking hits.
escape. Light him up.
Enemy spotted.
Down.
Enemy hit.
The safe zone is
Back to my grandfather.
the safe zone has been redefined.
Head to the target. Taking fire. Down.
Enemy hit.
Spotted. Vortex. Enemy spotted. Head to the target.
Double kill.
We love you, Taka.
Yeah, I've been riding around with some real niggas. Better not talk loud when you chill with us. I know she be off that loud cause I still feel it. It don't make no sense to lie cause they still get us. And no, I don't wanna review up on a pack, I know it's bustin'. If I peep that shorty front, it might as well go fuck a cousin. Clap, clap, clap for a bitch, you know it's bustin'. I woke up in the meeting, need 100, no discussion. Fuck it, we just put it out there. Niggas say they want it, well let's put it out there. I heard she was a thot, so I'ma treat her like that. Riding in that Rari and you know it's all black. I just broke their necks when I walked in. I don't really pop out, but I'm popping. Told them turn that shit off because you nodded. I had to take advantage of it cause I got it. The longer you gon' wait, run out of options. You just wanna party your life away. I just told my family I got this. Know we gon' be good and we all gon' be straight. Yeah, I've been riding around with some real niggas. Better not talk loud when you chill with us. I know she be off that loud cause I still feel it. It don't make no sense to lie cause they still get us. And no, I don't wanna review up on a pack, I know it's bustin'. If I peep that shorty front, it might as well go fuck a cousin. Clap, clap, clap for a bitch, you know it's bustin'. I woke up in the meeting, need 100, no discussion.
can't go for that shit.
Please help me.
Down. I'm reloading.
The safe zone is shifting.
Under fire. Light 'em up.
The safe zone has been redefined.
Light 'em up. Down.
feet, and we roll your shoe. Put that pussy lover on the TV, turn her to a tattoo. I straight off in that coupe. I put her with an ass. I put her with your boo.
I'm under fire.
But I do whatever I wanna do. I'm sipping on drink, I'm sipping on juice. I'm gonna see how they get the level. I get high on this time, I fuck her since she lose. I did a massage, think I did a masseuse. My bank account saying I'm like some hoes. I'm getting too much money, you know I can't lose.
I'm reloading.
Watch out! Enemy hit. Enemy eliminated. Wait for me to reload.
Big waves are calling. Dive into the and call on a big wave. Bonfire tour. More information at Kona Big.
Wicked sick!
Copyright 2025 Kona Brewery.
Summer is coming. Target get all the season goes with same-day delivery. Delivered. Sun lotion and towels for beach day. Delivered. Pillows and lights to deck out the safe zone. Delivered just when you want them.
Enemy hit.
Quick and easy. Join now and get all the summer fun delivered right to your door.
Wicked sick!
Membership required. Subject to terms and conditions. Applies for the
This is an ad by BetterHelp. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and every year 6 million men suffer from depression. If you're feeling
Item up.
overwhelmed, the strongest thing you can
Reloading.
do is ask for help. And BetterHelp makes it easy.
Wicked sick!
Tap now or visit BetterHelp.com/Spotify Music today.
Item. I'm reloading.
That's BetterHelp.com/Spotify Music.
I'ma tell y'all what I said, bro. He's versatile. He's most likely to really blow up very fast and very soon because he's versatile. He can do anything on any beat, bro.
Yeah, whoa, whoa, yeah, whoa, whoa. Yeah, whoa, whoa, yeah, whoa. I want my twin finna blow me a bag up in Louis, then go cop a crib on the north side. 50 that's the game, no, I cannot switch on my brothers, love bro, stay on your side. Shawty be speaking a whole nother language, she said that Santana, not human, of course not. We finna put that little boy in the grave, and if he make a sound, then he get in his corpse shot. Shawty say telling you socially anti, and I tell her no.
This was a Monday night. I'd gotten out of work at 8 and went straight home to hop online and game with some of my buddies. I had gotten divorced a few months ago, which left me with just an empty house and not much to do outside of work. So gaming with my friends all night was mostly all I did, and I can't say I didn't enjoy it. Anyway, I knew there was supposed to be a big thunderstorm overnight, and there were even flash flood warnings. But around here, they pretty much send out those warnings every time it rains, so it was never a big deal. At about 11 p.m. though, I was in the middle of a game with my buddies when a sudden massive gust of wind slammed against the window next to me, and the entire house shook. I took my headset halfway off, and I could hear rain pouring down and the house creaking and swaying violently. I turned back to my screen to tell everyone what was going on, but suddenly my screen and all the lights in my house flicked off for a split second, then right back on. I saw I was still in the Discord call, so I asked if they could still hear me, but before I got an answer, everything cut out. My PC shut down and all the lights snapped off. The whole house was dark. I couldn't even see my hands in front of my face. I felt around my desk for my phone, then turned the light on. Annoyed, I got up and walked downstairs and up to the front window. Honestly, it was hard to say if everyone else's power was off or not. I could barely see anything through the flood of rain that was pouring down, and most people's houses would usually be dark by now anyways, since it was so late. I quickly sent a message in the group chat saying I probably wouldn't be on for the rest of the night. Frustrated, I used my little phone light to find my way to the basement. I went down and found my old battery bank. It wasn't much, but it was enough to plug a few lamps into so I could at least have some light. I grabbed it and started walking back up to the stairs when I thought I heard something behind me. It was just a bunch of boxes back there, but the wind seemed to pick up as soon as I turned around, so I assumed it was just the storm making the house make noises. I hauled the battery bank up to the first floor and plugged in one of the lamps in the living room. I'm not sure if this is normal or not, but I hated going to bed with the power out. Like I had to wait for it to come back on before I'd feel comfortable sleeping. So I opened up the blinds and sat on the couch, then took my phone out and used my data to scroll through YouTube. An hour or so went by before I got curious again, and this time opened the front door to look outside. My porch had an overhang that blocked most of the rain, so I stepped out and looked around. The storm was still raging on, but the houses across the street didn't seem to be off power. At least a couple of them had a light or two on in the windows. Now I was pretty confused. I looked up outages in my area, but didn't find much info. I went back inside. Oddly, only a minute later, I got a text. It was from a normal, unknown phone number, but essentially said that there was down power lines and to expect power outages. I had no clue why I got a direct text though, and the number didn't have an ID, like from ComEd or whatever. Strange, I thought, but I didn't look much more into it. I went back to the couch. Again, I was on my phone, but more so to just listen to videos while I watched the storm out the window. But then, I heard something from the other side of the house. It sounded exactly like a footstep on one of the creaky wooden steps to the basement. I'd lived here long enough to recognize that sound. I got up, but walked slowly and quietly over there, wanting to hear if it happened again. The house was so dark, and my phone light only lit up a small view in front of me. I turned the corner into the hallway and shined the light down. Nothing was there. However, the basement door was open, like wide open, and there was no way I left it like that. I walked up and shined the light down the stairs, but there was no way I was gonna go down there to check anything out, not with no power on. I closed the door. I don't think I had enough time to really think about what this really meant. I walked into the next room. Light from the thunderstorm flashed in the windows, but when I looked around, I found nothing. A feeling built up in me though, like something was off, and my gut could sense it. I started to walk back, when suddenly heavy footsteps came running up the basement stairs. Even behind the closed door, they were loud and shook the whole floor. Without thinking, I ran up to the door and slammed my body against it. Not even a second later, they were on the other side trying to open it. Once they figured out I was there, they started hitting it and ramming their shoulder into it to try to force the door open. This was a regular basement door, so it had no lock on it. I didn't know what else to do. He pounded against it for a minute, but when I pulled my phone out and started calling 911, he stopped. I heard his footsteps go back down the stairs, and I took this chance to get in my car and leave. I tried to watch from the other side of the road to see if he left, but during the 10 minutes I waited, I didn't see anything. 3 officers went in and found nobody inside. He had left through the back door. What I find most disturbing about this situation is that we confirmed the text I received about the power outage was fake, like from a private personal phone. So whoever this guy was that broke in, he knew enough about me to find my phone number. He wasn't targeting just some random house. We think he texted me once he heard me go outside, probably knowing I was checking if other houses had power, and wanting me to not get suspicious and check the breaker box in the basement. There was no outage. He had shut off my power. That's about where it was left though. No new info on who it could have been or what they wanted has been found out. This was in spring of 2021. I'm a 24-year-old male, and at the time I'd been living away from my family while I was studying at an out-of-state college. Our school had a fairly early spring break, which meant I'd get to go home and visit my family. It was about a 2-day drive to get there, and mostly through long, boring roads. I'd take the drive over flying any day though. I left on a Tuesday morning. I actually woke up early and hit the road well before I planned to, so I was doing great on time. I didn't have the route really planned out though. I just had a general idea of where I'd be making my first overnight stop at. I drove almost 10 hours straight, only stopping for food and gas. Around 8 p.m., I decided I'd done enough for today, and at the next gas station, I pulled up the map and looked for the nearest hotel I could stay at. I was in the middle of nowhere, but I knew there had to be something within 20 to 30 miles at least. Thankfully, I found one. It wasn't too far actually. The directions told me to go down the road behind the gas station, away from the highway. This road looked very old and had very few streetlights that didn't do much for lighting up the road, and there were no cars coming down. I drove about 5 minutes, passing through a very small, old-fashioned town, and at the end of the street was the hotel. It was a small building, just as old as all the others. I parked in the empty parking lot, then grabbed my bags and walked inside. The lights were very dim, like weirdly dim, and nobody was at the counter. As I stood there, I just looked around. It was so quiet. No kids running around, or TVs on in the lobby. It was just empty. After a minute, someone finally came walking down the back hallway, and she looked startled when she saw me. She quickly walked up to the front counter and greeted me, then got me a room for the night. I thanked her and walked down the hallway. She gave me the room all the way at the end. I unlocked it and got in. I didn't even unpack anything really. I just sat on the small sofa and went on my phone for a while. The room wasn't very big or nice, which I wasn't expecting anyway. This was clearly just an older and smaller, probably family-run hotel. I remember just laying on my back on the sofa, scrolling through videos on my phone, and I guess falling asleep. I woke up abruptly to someone banging on the room door. I quickly sat up, shaken by how sudden and loud it was. My eyes looked over at the clock on the wall. It was 11 p.m. Concerned, I got up and walked over to the door, opening it. Nobody was there. I poked my head out and looked down the hallway. I stayed there for 30-ish seconds, really confused and waiting for someone to come back around or something. But the hotel was really quiet still. Everything was so off, I started second-guessing myself. Like, was the knock even at my door? It sounded like it was, and I didn't hear anyone else in any of the rooms near me. But maybe somehow it was for one of the other rooms. I went back to the couch for a little bit, then took a shower and got ready for bed. I set an alarm for 8 a.m. and fell asleep. I really wanted to sleep good tonight, because for one, I was really tired, and two, I had another long drive ahead of me. However, I woke up again in the middle of the night to someone banging on the door. I jumped up again, and this time I hurried up to the door. The whole room was dark, and I could only see the sliver of light coming out from under the door. I swung it open, but nobody was there again. I did the same thing, looking down the hall and listening. After a minute, I decided that this was too strange to not investigate a little further. Tiredly, I walked down the hallway and to the front desk. It was just as dark and quiet as it was when I first arrived here. The woman was still at the desk though. I told her someone had been banging on my door and asked if she saw anyone. The woman looked really confused and almost as if I was joking. When she realized I wasn't, she then said that I was the only guest staying here tonight. I just smiled and said okay, then started walking back to my room. I don't think it had really set in yet. Like, was I just going crazy? I got back to my room and went in. I made sure that all the locks were in place, then got in bed. I just laid there for a minute, staring at the pitch black ceiling and trying to think about what was going on, before I decided to grab my phone from the nightstand and maybe watch a video or two to get me to relax. However, right when my screen turned on, it lit up the room just enough for me to see something in the corner by the bed. I jumped up and backed away from the bed. There was someone there, standing in the dark in the back corner of the room. They were still, motionless, just watching me. My heart was burning from how hard it was pounding in my chest. I hurried over to the door. As soon as I began removing all the locks, I heard them start rushing up behind me. Their loud footsteps against the floor got closer and closer as I finally swung open the door and sprinted down the hallway. The front desk woman jumped when she saw me, but her eyes quickly darted past me. The man was running up behind me. She started calling 911, but just when the guy got into the lobby, he sprinted out the door. He didn't get into a car or anything. He just ran off. The woman explained that she had no idea who that was, and that he should not have been inside the hotel, again saying that I was the only guest checked in for the night. Police came and did a rather quick investigation. The hotel only had 2 working cameras, one in the lobby and one outside, so it wasn't all that useful. The only thing we know is that the man definitely slipped into my room while I was asking the woman about the knocking. We don't know what he wanted from me, or why he was even there at all. I got my things and left that night, obviously not wanting to stay any longer. I still have no idea what that was about, but it was definitely the most terrifying experience of my life. I was going on a camping trip with my best friend. I'm gonna call him Henry. We'd done a few trips before, but we still mostly considered ourselves new to it. We hadn't done anything too crazy up until this point. Usually we'd go to local campgrounds that had other people around, but we thought we were confident enough to do something more adventurous. Both of us wanted to camp at an actual campsite that was cool, with a view and further in the forest. You know, like real camping. We did some research and found a place about 3 hours from us. It was a 4-hour hike into the forest, and it only had a couple pictures from previous campers, so it didn't seem like it'd be busy. We drove down there, prepared for 3 days. There was a very small dirt area on the end of an otherwise unused road in the middle of the forest. Nobody else was parked there. The trail looked like an actual trail, or at least it looked like it was one at some point. It hadn't been kept up with, so some parts were overgrown and weathered. I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere, it seemed, so I wasn't expecting the most taken care of trail, but this looked like it was abandoned for years. Still, we kept walking. It thinned out as we got further into the forest, but around mid-afternoon, we got to the campsite. It was no more than a grassy area on top of a small hill, but it had a decent overlook of the forest, and was very secluded. Nobody else was there, and from the looks of it, nobody had been there in a long time. We set up our tents and got everything unpacked. Henry was taking a bit longer than me, so while I waited, I walked up to the overlook and just enjoyed the view. While I was there, I noticed something move in the trees below us. It was really hard to see through the dense branches and leaves, but I barely caught a glimpse of a group of people walking, maybe 4 or 5 of them. I was so surprised to see other people out here, especially not on the campsite. From where I was though, I couldn't see anything aside from their basic figures moving through the forest, so I couldn't tell if they were campers or hikers or what. I tried to point them out to Henry, but by the time he came over, they were already gone, disappeared in the forest. After a few minutes, we were back to going about our day. We kind of just hung out for the next few hours, talking and whatever, until the sun started going down. We built up a small campfire and sat around it. The night was calm for the first couple hours. It was quiet, only the sound of us talking and the crackling campfire between us. But then we heard something else. It was faint, but we both heard it. It sounded like voices, multiple, talking back and forth. We couldn't tell what they were saying, or even if they were speaking our language. It was coming from way out in the trees though, which made it really creepy. Henry and I didn't know what to do, so we just listened for a bit, but the voices didn't seem to move. They stayed in the same spot out there, until they suddenly went quiet. The next minute or so was really unnerving. We didn't hear the voices fade out or leave. They just stopped, like they were still right out there. Then there were footsteps, just one set walking toward us. A few seconds later, a man came out of the dark and into the light of our campfire. He had a distinct red baseball cap and longish wavy black hair. His smile was wide as he walked up to us. "Either of you know where the trail is around here? I've been looking for a while." I said yeah, and pointed ahead at the trail. But when he didn't immediately say anything or leave, I then asked if the others out there were with him. His face fell flat for a moment. Then he smiled again and looked back at where I was looking. "I didn't know there were others out here. I've just been hiking alone. I would have asked them for directions if I saw them," the man said. It was really strange though. I was almost sure he was lying. He came from the same direction we just heard the voices in. I just said okay, and he smiled, then left and went down the trail. Henry was thinking the exact same thing as I was, that the guy was lying for some reason. There was no way he just came out from the same area as the group of voices and wasn't with them, or at least didn't even notice them. But the more unsettling question is, why was he lying? Why didn't he want to tell us about the others in the forest? We discussed this around the campfire for a while, maybe 30 minutes, trying to figure out what the hell was going on, or if there even was something going on. The whole time, it felt like we were being watched. I kept turning around and looking at the forest and at the trail. Something felt wrong. It definitely didn't help that this was our first time being so far out like this, so nerves were already high. Should we just leave? Henry finally said in a shaken voice. After some thought, I said yes. We started packing, but that eerie feeling only felt like it was getting stronger. Just as we tossed our bags on our shoulders and stomped out the campfire, a single footstep crunched in the leaves behind me. We both swung our heads around. Without the fire, it was pitch black. It also felt like the woods were eerily quiet now. After a moment, my shaky hand reached into the side of my backpack and got out my flashlight. I pointed it out and clicked it on. Standing only 10 or 15 feet in front of me was that same guy from before with the red baseball hat. He was standing in place, already looking at us, and had a blank stare. As I held the light on him, he made that same wide smile from before. In a panic, I turned off the light and both of us sprinted to the trail. Disturbingly, I could hear multiple other footsteps chasing behind us, and some even sounding like they were running through the woods beside us. Slowly though, they started to fade out. Eventually, it was just us two, running down the dark trail. We made it back to the car unharmed. We got in and drove away. We were both pretty shaken for a while after that. Honestly, I have no idea what was going on there. Why was anyone there at all? It's been a long time since this happened, but we haven't been out camping at all. I don't know if we ever will. This was 4 years ago, but I still find myself thinking about it every now and again. It was storming pretty bad this night. I worked as an Uber driver, so on nights like these, it often gets really slow. Sometimes I don't even get a single pickup. Regardless, I always stayed out and waited, either driving around listening to music or sitting in an empty parking lot and watching YouTube on my phone. Even if I'd only get a few pickups, it's still worth the extra money that I wouldn't have made otherwise. This night was as expected. Nobody was out or going anywhere with a storm like this. For the first while, I stayed in a parking lot, sitting on my phone and listening to the storm run through the town. After an hour, I went and drove through to get some food, then went back to the parking lot and waited some more. Eventually, I got the notification that someone requested a pickup. I clicked on it, and it said they were 25 minutes from me, and they needed to be dropped off another 20 minutes away from where they were. Usually when this happens, it's because no other Uber drivers are working, so I'll be the closest available driver, even though I'm far away. I had nothing better to do this night though. I accepted it and started heading over to them. They had placed the pinpoint location of where to pick them up at. The drive there felt like it took forever. Maybe it was the storm outside, or just the fact that nobody else was on the road. At certain points, I even almost forgot I was going to pick someone up, and it felt more like I was just driving aimlessly. It didn't help that the road it was taking me down was going out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm not even sure I've ever been that far in that direction, because nothing was out there. Finally, after just about 35 minutes, I made it to the pinpointed location on the map. It was at the corner of two roads, but two roads in the middle of literally nothing. Empty fields of trees on either side of me, and more importantly, nobody was there. I confirmed on the app that I'd arrived at the location, then just sat in my car and looked around, wondering what the hell they were doing way out here with a storm overhead. After a minute of looking around, I looked down at my phone again and started texting them to see where they were. Just then, I saw someone in my side mirror coming up behind my car. They opened the door and got in. I had no idea where they even came from. I never saw them on the road, or even out by all the trees. The man was absolutely drenched in rain though, and had a disturbed, almost angry look. "You ordered the Uber," I said, and he responded by stating my first name, which confirmed he was the right guy. I started driving. A few minutes went by, and something about him felt off. First of all, he was sitting in the middle of the back seats, so he was right in view of my mirror every time I looked back. And he also just had this really uneasy vibe, like he was up to something. I really wanted to ask what brought him out here, and why he was out in the pouring rain in the middle of nowhere, but I also didn't want to cause any trouble. As we got further out into what only looked to be even more uninhabited areas, I thought it best to ask and maybe get an answer that would make me feel better. "Hey, so what brings you out here anyway? I mean, with the storm and all," I said in as friendly a manner as possible. I looked at him in the mirror. His eyes darted away from mine. He looked like he was going to say something though, but then he didn't. He completely ignored the conversation and looked really suspicious while doing so. That didn't make me feel good at all. Even worse, the guy seemed to get antsy now, looking around more and keeping an eye on me in the mirror. Having to focus on the road with the rain pouring on the windshield, it was really unnerving not being able to see what he was up to behind me. But then he suddenly spoke. "Drop me off here." Confused, I started to ask if he was sure, but he cut me off, repeating himself. "Drop me off here." He demanded it. Something was clearly wrong, and I wanted no part of it. I did as he said, pulling over to the side of the road. He moved toward the door to leave, but I caught his eyes happen to glance at my phone, which was sitting on the center console with the Uber app open. He put his hand on the door, but hesitated. After a brief pause, he glanced back at my phone, then pulled his own phone out and checked it for something. Somehow, in that moment, I knew exactly what was going through his head. He'd been reminded that the app had his full name and everything, and so whatever he was up to, and that I was clearly suspicious about, would be linked directly back to him. I knew it the second I saw his eyes look at my phone, the realization setting into him. Don't worry. I'll cancel the ride from my end. It won't charge you," I said, hoping to redirect his thoughts and in a way fake that I wasn't suspicious of anything, and that by canceling it, maybe he'd think his info would be deleted or something. He glared at me, his eyes still angry and dead. And after another few seconds of hesitation, he left out the door. He walked out into the storm and was hidden by the fog and rain within seconds. I drove away immediately before he could change his mind. Even though I had basically no evidence that this guy was up to anything, I still quickly reported his behavior to the police. You just never know. Several days went by with nothing, until I got a really unfortunate call. Someone went missing that night, last seen near the forest that was just off the road I'd picked the man up from. They called for more information on what happened that night, but after giving them everything I could, they didn't find him or anything else. Unfortunately, with the storm, any tracks or evidence was likely washed away and gone by the time any searches could be made. They never found the missing person or the man I picked up. I was the last known person to encounter him. I think I'm really lucky that I didn't go missing that night as well. This was only a few months ago from the time I'm writing this. I work an overnight job at a warehouse, so I'm usually home sleeping during the day and am awake between 6 p.m. to about 9 or 10 a.m., even on my days off because I like to keep my body on the same schedule. This night, I was at work until 4 a.m. When I got off, I headed straight home, getting there at just about 4:15. All the roads were empty and quiet. However, when I got up to my house, there was a car parked right next to my driveway. I slowed down as I passed it and turned in, getting a better look at it. It was an old black sedan with heavily tinted windows. I couldn't see through any of them, and all its lights were off. I pulled into my garage and parked, taking one more look down the driveway before heading inside.
I don't like being around people sometimes, so the public keeps saying I'm anti-local. Shawty told me that she keep getting wet like every time that she hear my vocals. Pull up my chopper, I'm shooting at you when you get to that chopper, start jamming, it's over. She said that she from Jamaica, so I switch it up for a second and put on the bongos. I feel like dummy cause I take her shawty and put in that work, I ain't talking trabajo. If you want smoke, then we light up his Honda Civic like that boy had a ride through Chicago. He talking down, so I'm calling my brother, still shoot that little boy with the horse in me auto. I want my twin finna blow me a bag up in Louis, then go cop a crib on the north side. 50 that's a game, no I cannot switch on my brother's little bro, stay on your side. Shawty be speaking a whole nother language, she said that's Santana, not human, of course not. We finna put that little boy in the grave, and if he make a sound, then he get in his corpse drop. Shawty say telling you socially anti, and I tell her no girl, I'm anti-social. I don't like being around people sometimes, so the public keep saying I'm anti-local. Shawty told me that she keep getting wet like every time that she hear my vocals. Pull up my chopper, I'm shooting at you when you get to that chopper, start jamming, it's over. Don't make me bring out the coda. You talking down, but you don't wanna go there. Look to your block and we don't see you nowhere. We make them lean like we put on the phone here. Chopper singing Billy, no islands, but it's so hot that it knocked up his eyelash. You was not a nigga, we do not like that. You texting me, lil' hoe, I did not write back. I really playing that hoe like a P4. My nigga shooting your ass like a free throw. I'm in a crib and I'm wearing a mink coat. How many hoe nigga, I got like 5. That hoe be texting my phone, asking me if I love her, and I had to tell her I think so. Man, I got so many sons, so I feel it Mufasa, but no, I ain't talk about Mingo. My nigga still finna play with the gadgets. If you talking down, then we slide with a ratchet. Since I stay with a lil' Uzi, and no, I ain't talking about brand new patty. For that lame ass boy, he just be capping, he just be ready to panic. I ain't never ran track, but 600 hop on the track and he motherfucking ran it. I got a new hoe out of the country, she just be talking to me in Spanish. They finna think that it's World War II, by the way, 50 goes out with a cannon. I really don't be doing shit to these nigga, but just from me talking, I still do damage. Might have shooter got a stutter, but he finna what his ass up like a salmon. I got a bitch like you kinda pennies. I'm getting racks like I'm getting many. It's been a minute since me and gang linked up. Give him a call and we eat out at Benny's. We finna eat out that little Betty Hana. Open the crib and say head to his mama. Shout out to Adam, but all of my niggas they getting money. Hakuna Matata. Yeah, me and my gang, you know we on the come up. Call the dummy, he gon' get you done up. Bumping his mama till the fucking sun up. You wanna visit every last 200.
I'm reloading.
She didn't want for me, now she wants up on me. Cause she see me getting blazed. She finna get a little technical. Red eye, you know that we ain't with the reticle. I got your bitch in my crib and she riding my dick, and I know that you is a little skeptical. Pour the lean when I drink a little chemical. She add a little crazy, think she bought it edible. Watch my money piling up and piling up and piling up.
I'm reloading. Reloading.
Double kill.
Shawty, she gon' throw that ass, tryna have my baby. Make some bucket day.
cause I'll give them hell. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. And I'm gonna pass it down. And this guy put it up to sell, yeah. He's gonna be like us, and I can tell, yeah. He's gonna be like us, but it will fail, yeah. Yeah, hell
Double kill. Satellite scan in progress. Reloading. Taking hit. Mega kill. Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted. Unstoppable. We gon' bring them guns, I'll give them hell. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah. And I move the back of the map. And this gas good enough to he's gonna be like us, but it will fail, yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Got it. Got it. Wicked sick! Kill. Wicked sick! Enemy spotted! Wicked sick! Satellite scan in progress. Enemy spotted! Wicked sick! Double kill. Wicked sick! Enemy spotted! Enemy spotted! Wicked sick! Double kill. Wicked sick! Down.
We ain't go out, ho. I tell lot, I just put up in a lot, ho. Not no talk, ho. See ya, let's go. I flip back, ho. I got bad dope. See your bitch was out. Bullet in the I got your back. I'll put some up. Double colors full of yeah, I'll listen to the note. They gon' drop it better back. I'ma change blood.
Wicked sick! Under attack!
It doesn't matter if you're running playing pickup on a Saturday or simply when you compete with your friends on the isn't that simple. The trash car, next level, and the stakes. Oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories of superior smooth taste, it's the most superior is what bread. Light beef.
The safe zone is shifting.
Wicked sick!
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been
Enemy spotted!
the thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet. Yes, we need that.
Wicked sick!
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to
Double kill.
Wicked sick!
The safe zone has been redefined.
Spotted! Come down!
So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Participating U.S. Wendy's hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co. LLC. Used with permission.
Okay, I think that's something wrong. Think that's something wrong. He ain't never coming home. Never coming home. Okay, I think that's something wrong. Think that's something wrong. He ain't never coming home. Never coming home. Trying to spin my block. Think that's something wrong. We gonna sit outside his dome. Sit outside his dome.
You're fucking with Shoku Radio.
Hey, yo. Pop that block on me, boy. Never send some shots at me, boy.
Section barrier up and running. Enemy close by. Enemy spotted.
Yeah, that's never. Okay, I think that's something wrong. Think that's something wrong. He ain't never coming home. Never coming home. Trying to spin my block think that's something wrong. We gonna sense out
The safe zone has been redefined.
Yeah, I'm off good gas, good drugs. I ain't overdone it. Now I'm leaving friends, bitch, cause she just do me most. Okay, my nigga, I can't fuck with you, cause we all know you, bro. We send shots, you know they hit him up. Thought he wanted smoke, yeah. Hey, yeah, nigga said he got that stick on me, cause I can never load. I'm at 2K off playing middle me. I ain't tryna boast, yeah. I know that you notice, hey. I bet your bitch notice. Talking down from the road,
Reloading.
Double kill.
I've been making like 2,000 a minute. So high up through the crowd. I'm probably gon' drown when I'm in it. I bet she gon' get loud when I'm in it. And we might have a child. Love a hoe after we fuck, she can't get near me. Only bitch I give a conversation to a series. My pants are mirrored. Yes, I want it clearly. I'm the chosen one, see my potential, so they fear me. Lately I've been playing God, I wonder can you hear me? Think about the old me, I swear I miss you dearly. Stay down till you come up, I've been sticking to that theory. Every day a battle, I'm exhausted and I'm weary. Y'all smelling colors in the room, my eyes clear. I'm the safe zone is shooting. I've been getting harder, but I know I'm conquer BMW.
Mega kill!
I guess that's how it sound when you win. I ain't joking, do it sound like I'm kidding. I've been making like 2,000 in a minute. So high up through the clouds. I'm probably gon' drown when I'm
Satellite scan in progress.
The safe zone has been redefined.
might have a sound, pottery birds. Enemy spotted. We lurk, I'm stuck till my feet hurt.
Wicked sick!
White tees turn burgundy t-shirts. Looking for some real, stuck in the deep search. Anxiety killing me, I just wanna leave Earth. When they ask if I'm okay, just make everything seem worse. Trying to explain your feelings sound like something getting hurt. Stab me in my back. Looking so deep into your eyes, I can read your thoughts. Shut the fuck, I mean, please don't talk.
show, you rockin' out rig, yeah. I got the top of this bitch, she gon' rock this bitch. That boy not on shit, yeah. I got too much drip, can't take me to sleep. She gon' suck like a 10, yeah. That nigga underestimated. You working so hard for this shit.
Wicked double kill. Wicked sick.